Reverse arc, hit the brakes, ask for the turn. Good. Hi, I'm Larry Trocha, and today we're going to work this little 2-year-old gelding. You know, he's decent broke for the amount of time he's been ridden. He's had about 60 days training dry, just kind of like he was started at the same time as that little black stud that we rode here earlier today. They were both started at the same time, and you know, just rode them dry and got them where you can, you know, move their shoulders, you know, you can move their hips. We can get them to drop off the bit. They give pretty good. And so now we're starting them on a cow, and they've been working the cow, maybe they've had maybe 5 rides on a cow. I'm just gonna trot this colt around, just test him out, make sure he's responding. Move his shoulders, kind of reverse arc. Stop him, ask him to turn. That's pretty good. Giving his head really nice right there. And I'm trotting to the left here. He's kind of stiffening up. I'm gonna set the left side of the bit solid and drive him to it. Set the left side of the bit solid, drive him to it with my feet, and he'll supple himself up a little bit more. There we go. Come on. There we go. There we go. I want him to get soft and travel in a nice cadence. Step, 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 step. That's pretty good. Reverse arc. Hit the brakes, ask for the turn. Good. Ooh. 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 Set the left side of the bit solid, drive him to it, supple him up a little bit more on this side. Ooh. Ooh. Back him up with his head to the left. Take his head to the right, back him up some more. I want to be able to move his head and shoulders independently. Take that head to the left, move the shoulders to the right. Move the head to the right, shoulders to the left. I want to be able to control the parts of his body. Good. Go work a cow. Means this is just like his 5th trip on a cow. You gotta keep it pretty simple. Mostly drive the cow. Don't go past its head if I can help it. Go to the hip to make the cow move. Now fade off with my cow side foot. This cow's got no respect to him. Let's get something else. Cow side foot. Back him up, cross the cow, to the cow's hip, out of the cow's shoulder, hit the brakes, bring him through, fade off with my cow side foot, got the colt's head at about the cow's neck. Good. Go to the cow's hip to make him go. Now break off again. Went a little bit too far past, but I wanted to stop the cow, you know, so he didn't go in the herd. Cow side foot to fade off. Bring the head in there. Bring his head in there. A little stiff right there. Let's go get a different cow. Hi, I'm Larry Trocha, and I'm going to pause this video for a few seconds to clarify some pretty important stuff. The colt has to learn that he's the one that's causing the cow to move. It teaches him to stay back and maintain leverage on the cow. You know, the more distance he has between him and the cow, the more leverage he has to control the cow. And it also teaches him to stay back on his hocks instead of leaking up the pen, leaking toward the cow, causing him to kind of round his turns and, not use his hocks very well. That doesn't mean you can't, ride him to the cow, just because he learns to stay back to maintain leverage, it doesn't mean you can't ride him to the cow. If you want to ride him to the cow, you just ride him to the cow. And when you quit asking him to go forward, you quit riding and he'll just automatically stop and maintain his distance, maintain his leverage on the cow. And matter of fact, being we're on this subject, let's just talk about ranch sorting, because ranch sorting is a popular horse sport in the United States. And a lot of ranch sorters, or people that want to do ranch sorting, have been told, oh, don't get a cutting horse, don't have your horse trained like a cutting horse. You'll never get him to go to the cow, and in ranch sorting, we got to go to the cow and we've got to guard the hole and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's just misinformation. If you want to ride, it doesn't matter how that cutting horse is trained. When you want to ride him to the cow, you just ride him to the cow. No, there's no problem. It's not like he's going to go, no, I am not going to go to the cow. That just makes no sense. Now, here's something important. When training a horse to do both reining and cutting, or reining and work cattle, you got to make sure you teach him to cross over in front, cross his front legs over like in a reining horse spin, before he gets in the habit of crossing under like a cutting horse spin, or not a cutting horse spin, but a cutting horse turn. There's no downside to training the horse to cross over like a reining horse spin, because he can do a half turn just as good as a cutting horse should, but he can also do a full 360-degree spin without banging his front legs together. He'll just cross, step, cross, and step. And I've got other videos here that show that. But there is a downside into letting him get in the habit of crossing under when he turns. Because when a horse crosses under, okay, he can do a half turn just fine, and he can hold a cow just fine. But when it comes to entering him up in a reining and you have to do a spin, he can't do it well, because he's crossing under, he's going to bang his front legs together when you ask him to go all the way around, okay? And so, you're not going to win anything with that. So it really is a plus to teach him to cross over when he's turning instead of crossing under. And most horses can get that just fine, if you do it right. I want to make an important point here. You're not going to learn everything you need to know by watching a 10-minute YouTube video. You're just not. And it doesn't matter how many of them you watch or how many different trainers you watch, you're not going to get the complete picture. And here's what's bad about that. You'll learn a certain thing from a video, which is good. There's some good YouTube videos out there, but you don't know when that particular lesson should be taught to the horse if preparatory work hasn't been done correctly. When it comes time to train horses, there's a step-by-step process. He has to learn step 1 before you move on to step 2, etc., etc. And when you're watching a 5 or 10-minute YouTube video, all right, that video is taken out of context. You really need to see the steps that come before that lesson is taught to the horse. And a lot of people are going to go, well, what's the big deal? Well, it is a big deal. And let me give you a good example.
there's a trainer on YouTube, a good trainer, that his video is teaching the horse to stay in the spin. Now, he isn't teaching the horse to spin, he's just teaching a horse that already knows how to spin to stay in it, okay? And I'll get I'll get an email once in a while from somebody that'll say, Larry, look at this video, it's so great, you know, he's teaching this horse to spin. And it'll show, you know, the trainer demonstrates to keep the horse in the spin. He keeps, you know, spinning him and then backing him up, spinning him and backing him up. Well, all right, that's how you get him to stay in the spin, but that's not how you initially teach the spin. You know, so these folks are trying to get their horse to spin by turning them and backing them up, turning them and backing them up. Well, all that does is cause the horse to bang his front legs together so he can't spin. And so that's the type of misconception that can happen if you don't have the complete picture, the step-by-step process. And, you know, I mean, that's why, you know, I've got complete training courses on my website that goes through, you know, each step. You do this first, you do this second, you do this third. You know, it shows you the whole program step by step so you don't, you know, cause problems. And that's the only way you're going to learn how to take the pieces of the puzzle and put them together in the correct order to get the end result. You know, the end result is a well-trained horse. And so, you know, you need to follow the process of step 1, step 2, step 3 if you're ever going to get there. And I'll leave links in the description area below this video to some of my training courses if you want to check them out. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Drive this cow out. Trot, trot, trot. Drive him right past these other cows. Hit the brakes. Drive out a little bit more. Fade off. Hit the brakes. Bring his head in there. There we go. I would have liked to have stopped a little bit shorter than this. I'm about 2 foot farther ahead than what I'd want to be. Go up into the cow's neck to make him turn away. Catch him. Right through the herd. Stay right with the cow. Stay with the same cow. Up into his neck to drive him away from the herd. Hit the brakes. Cross the cow. Bring the colt's nose in there. Cross the cow. Back up. Back up. Got his nose in there a little bit. Across the cow. Nice. Drive up into that cow's neck to drive him away. I didn't get there at the right angle. Up into his neck to drive him away from the herd. I'm not up there at the right angle. Too far behind. And that was too fast of a cow for the colt this green anyway. Try to get this. Drive up into the neck of this red cow to drive him away. There we go. Hit the brakes. Across the cow. To the cow's hip to make him go. Now break off and catch him. Cow's hip to make him go. Now break off and catch him again. Hit the brakes. Bring the colt's neck head in there. Cow's getting ready to go. Back up a couple steps. Hit the cow in the hip. Break off. All right. So this colt, I don't know if you could see it or not, but he was really thinking and trying to figure out what we were doing. It's a pretty nice colt right here. Both him and the black stud colt both are gonna make good horses. But anyway, that's enough for him. One ride. We'll call it quits for today.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you when I upload a new video. Leave your comments and questions in the comment section below the video. Oh, and don't forget to go to my website and get that free membership. It'll give you access to all kinds of good stuff. I mean, you'll learn a bunch. I'll have a link to it down below also. Okay, that's all for now. Take care.